He just throws them all in a cart and throws them in the fitting room.
Oh.
And I'm just like, that's not your job is to clean the store. You're not passing it off to me.
What's up, guys? Today we're doing another episode of We Don't Know, because we don't know. Today our topic is going to be...
I'm passionate about this one. Today we are discussing the social hierarchy of being a teen in a part-time job.
That is indeed a good one. However, it is one I don't entirely understand.
Okay, I'm super excited about this one because I work in retail, and I hate it. But, for whatever reason, there's a bunch of old ladies that I work with. Just, it's like, there's no in between. It is rather, you are a teen or you are an old lady. And then there's our middle-aged managers.
Okay.
And what frustrates me all the time is, so we have our dedicated areas of the night of our shift. So you're either up front, you're on the sales floor where you're basically cleaning, or you're in like the fitting room or back room.
Right.
And so I love the fitting room because that's where you can just sit on your phone the entire time.
Right. Who doesn't like that?
Exactly. But all the time there is this like couple old ladies that will just tell me what to do. Like they just tell me what to do, and I'm like, but I have this thing I'm doing right now, or I was told to do this.
Right.
But all the time they pull out the, oh, our manager said so, when I know in fact that our manager did not, because my manager made my schedule and assigned me somewhere else. Or she earlier in the shift told me what I'll be doing.
Right.
So it just made me realize that there is the social hierarchy of, because these old ladies are just older than me, they're just telling me what to do, and they're pulling the oh, our manager said so, even though like they didn't. They just want to be in the fitting room, or they're passing on one of their projects that they're doing on to me. And it makes me so annoyed. I'm so annoyed by it.
I get that. I can totally see that. Yeah.
So I think there's just, with that concept, there's a fascinating topic behind it.
Yeah. I totally get that. I've definitely like seen that in different stores. Although I will say I've never actually really felt like I've been in part of that. Then again, I have only...
You're in foods, though.
Yeah, I've worked foods my whole life. I've never really done anything more than that.
Yeah.
So, in my experience, it's more like levels of authority. You know?
Do people
like,
do people get power hungry though?
No, not really.
Really?
No.
No, I don't believe you.
No, to be honest, our general manager, we call him Dad.
Really?
All the time.
Well, okay, how old is your, like, are you all, like, teens? Or young adults?
Yes. The oldest person, our district manager, is probably late 30s.
Late 30s, so not too bad.
Not too bad. I mean, the owners are much older, but they're the
obviously.
owners. That's kind of different. But,
like, every time you show up to work, you are working with what age group?
it's usually always teens.
Really?
Teens to early 20s.
Really?
Yeah. It's not bad. In fact, it makes it really easy to work because everybody's just so...
Because everyone's the same age.
Yeah.
But that's what sucks sometimes, is sometimes I'm closing, and I'm the one teen with the 4 old ladies. And I'm like,
oh,
this is just not fun.
Yeah, that does not sound fun.
It's way more fun when I have someone my age,
right?
Because I have my work friends, but like that's not, that's a rarity. It's not every shift. And so it's so annoying when you have these old ladies telling you what to do. Yeah, and you're like, I know that's not what I'm supposed to be doing right now. You just don't want to do your job.
Yeah, that would be very frustrating. I would not want to work in an environment like that.
No, it sucks. So I mean, one, I was wondering if you experienced the same thing. But 2, I think, like, you can go 2 directions. You can see how just people older than you just treat younger and how they think they have authority over them.
Right.
Or you go, like, the power hungry route. So if you go up in position do you really
Mhm.
become power hungry and start treating people differently.
I feel like there's always going to be that temptation, for lack of a better word, you know?
It's true.
Like, I've never really been in a position where I've felt like I've had the opportunity to obtain more power, but I've never, I've really never had that experience before. Maybe that's just because I've always been in like the lower levels of working. I've never really gotten more than a shift lead. So, yeah.
Well, it sucks because we just got this new within the last couple months, old lady that she, like, day one, like, just comes in and tells everybody what to do.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, legit, she has the same job as I do. She gets paid the same amount I do.
Wow.
But she just told me how to do everything. And I'm like, lady, I've been working here for nearly 2 years. I know what I'm doing.
Dang.
But she's just like, you actually need to do that. I'm like, shut up! It made me so mad. And now it's even worse because now she's like, she became a mentor, which is like $1 raise.
Right.
So she makes $14 an hour.
Uh-huh.
But like, now it's even worse because now I'll be in the fitting room and then which, if you're the sales floor associate, you're supposed to like pick up the clothes off the ground and hang them back up. But what she does is she just throws them all in a cart and throws them in the fitting room.
Oh.
And I'm just like, that's not your job is to clean the store. You're not passing it off to me. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That's abuse of power.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the exact thing that the entire hierarchy is supposed
Yeah,
to
I
stop.
know. I'm just like, why? Like, why does this old lady that has been working here for 2 months now, when I've been here for nearly 2 years, just suddenly feel like she has more power than me? It legit just has to be.
Yeah.
She's just older than me.
But then you think, if you were to be older yourself, would you do that same thing?
That's the question, though. Like, I don't want to believe I would.
No, nobody wants to believe that.
But, like...
But then again, there are some people that are prideful enough that say, I do deserve to be more than these people.
I know, but I want to believe, because I know how much retail sucks, I'm just going to let people do their own thing.
Yeah. Plus, if they're not, like, hurting...
No, I'm literally cleaning the store in a way my manager told me to, and then some other older employee that is in the same power as I am is just telling me what to do. Like, frick.
Yeah, that would be agonizing. That kind of takes away from how it's, like, fun to work.
It's true. Know? It really is only fun to work when I have someone my age there, or, like, early 20s, like, just around that age group I could get along with. But that's such a rarity, actually. And it's why I hate going to Marshall's so much.
Interesting. I've really never had that problem at any of my jobs.
You just say, well, that's so lucky.
Yeah, I've always been with people that are very close to my age, if not they're at least close enough
where you can relate to them and get along with them still, or they're able to relate to you because they were just in high school or whatever.
Yeah, I remember my first manager from my first job when I was in, it was my sophomore year of high school, and they had graduated 2 years before.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's pretty close, you know?
That's true.
So, I've never really had that kind of problem.
Well, I realize now, because now I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm working at the daycare too.
Oh, yeah.
So much better, because I'm working with people my age every day.
Right.
And to be fair, I have Emma that I work with too every day, so that helps. But, like, and even our boss, because we have like kind of 3 bosses, one for each section, the toddlers, babies, and preschool. And the baby side is like graduated like 2 years ago.
Right.
She graduated in like 22, I believe. So she's only like 2 years older than us. She knew my brother, who graduated in 2020.
Whoa.
So she knew my brother. But like, it's just so much easier to get along with her. And it's just, just working at the daycare is so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Just because I can relate. It's just that same thing. You're relating with the people you're working with, which does a lot for your work environment and willingness to work.
Yeah, that's true. That brings up another question.
What?
That I just thought of. Do you really have to relate to people to get to know them? Because at least within like meeting new people for jobs or even just meeting new people in general, I know tons of people that I really don't have that much in common with.
That you can get
and we're
with.
very much not the same age at all. But they're genuinely like really, really fun people, and I can enjoy myself around them.
I get what you're saying, and I agree, kind of.
Okay. Why?
Because I feel like that's what is able to make you click with someone, is you're able to relate with something. And that's kind of, even if it's one small thing.
Right.
Like, even if it's just the way you guys are talking, like, the way you guys can hold a conversation is good enough and relatable enough to where you're able to talk.
Right. But maybe your experiences are so different and you enjoy getting to know each other so much.
That's valid too. Because
there's two sides.
There is that fascination, like we talked about last time, where it's just fascinating to get to know other people.
Yeah.
So no, in that sense, being different is really interesting and does allow more social communication, I guess. But I don't know. I also do kind of feel like the amount of effort you're gonna put in just talking to someone or whatever is based on how much you relate. Because honestly, like with my work friends, I wouldn't be friends with them outside, but we can both together bash on our retail job.
Right. Yeah.
Because we both relate in hating that retail job. But we both work there.
I can see that. I guess there has to be something to relate between.
I think it doesn't. You don't need to be. Buddy, we relate to everything. Because I don't think that's. I think that can be like a fun relationship, but like, it's not what I think makes relationships fun with people.
Yeah.
I think it's really, it's nice being able to relate with people, but it's getting to know a person for why they're different and why they see things differently, and then you're kind of meshing your guys' thoughts together with whether that's friends, family, lovers, or whatever. But I always do think it's kind of grounded, or a first step is always on something you guys related on.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's always a need for a foundation of some sort. Yeah. But then again, the greatest conversations you have are about things you don't understand. Which
I too agree with that. Yeah. I really do just think it's that like first step is something you're always relatable on.
Right. Yeah.
From then on, it can be diverse and very different.
Yeah. But
you're always going to be grounded by something you guys related on.
That's kind of the entire point of Reddit.
Of Reddit?
Yeah. That's why Reddit exists, is so that you can, right?
No, I mean, yeah, that's why there's Reddit threads and whatnot.
That's why social media exists. Well, I guess social media is more just to connect to people, not really find things in common.
No, social media is to brag about yourself now.
Honestly, yeah, facts. That and political campaigning.
Yeah. Advertising.
Yeah.
Which I talked about last time. Social media is a huge tool for advertising. Yeah, whether it's yourself politically or your business.
Gosh dang super PACs.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
I think... How long have you been on social media?
I've been on social media. How long has it been? I probably have been on close to my entire high school career. I
Really?
believe I got Snapchat my sophomore year.
Really? Because
Yes.
I mean, I'm not anti-social media, but
Mhm.
I don't. Well, I got social media for the first time like a couple months ago.
Really?
This year of high school, so probably when school started
Wow.
was when I got Instagram for the first time.
And it wasn't even for you. It was more for
No,
your
it's for. I mean, I've gotten sucked into it,
Uh-huh.
which is why I didn't want it for so long, and now I'm like kind of sucked into it. I'm like, gosh darn it, man.
No.
But I did originally get it, and still try to use it for my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So my only post I've ever done is my YouTube channel related. And I tried not to follow a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
I followed like my friends, and then it was awkward when I went to a dance with a girl and she followed me and I didn't follow her back, so I followed her back. Like it's stuff like that that's a little awkward.
Yeah.
But I also don't like go through people's posts
Mm-hmm.
very much, and the only posts I see are like your guys's,
Mm-hmm.
which you guys honestly don't post that much.
No, it's honestly I've kind of avoided posting. Anything
Yeah.
I really post.
Well,
is
because
either,
I think the danger in social media is you see, oh, look at all these fun things people are doing, and I'm
Yeah.
not there. Which,
Yeah.
honestly, most posts our friends do, I am a part of.
Uh-huh.
Because it's rather some dance where I was like there, or I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I was there with someone else,
Yeah.
or it was one of our trips that we went on, or something like that. So, I guess in that sense, maybe I'm just lucky because I've been in those posts that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't like. I think maybe that's the benefit of why I'm not following a bunch of people is because I'm only seeing my friends,
Right.
and so I'm not seeing all the amazing thing people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I'm addicted to is Instagram Reels.
Oh my gosh. We could do a whole podcast on
On Instagram Reels. Well, we touched upon it last time on
That's true. We
just
did
short form
last
content.
episode. Yeah.
And just how addicting it is.
It is addicting. It's so easy to just spend hours.
It's so bad. Dude, literally my summer routine was to wake up and open YouTube and scroll YouTube shorts for probably an hour before I got out of bed. That was like every day during the summer.
Really?
Before I got up and did anything for the day, I would scroll in my bed on YouTube shorts for like an hour.
Honestly, it's just the easiest thing to do.
It's so easy.
It's like a second nature.
Yeah. Well, and now it doesn't even. It's worse when you now open up Instagram or YouTube or obviously TikTok. It just goes straight to short form content now.
Yeah, even Snapchat has that.
Really? Snapchat has it? I've never had Snapchat.
Snapchat has something called Snapchat Spotlight.
Really? And it's just reels?
Same thing.
Yeah, because everyone's going to this short form scrolling content now.
Yeah.
I don't know about other social medias because I only have YouTube and Instagram.
Right, yeah.
But whenever I open those two, most times it just opens on shorts or reels.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just like, oh, and you just end up scrolling.
Yeah. If you think about it, that's kind of how social media originated. Because even with Facebook and Twitter,
yeah,
it's that same basic format of scrolling down and finding new content.
That's true.
And Instagram.
Well, even do you remember Vine? Vine was before our time, which is crazy.
I was never really introduced to Vine as a kid.
No, I wasn't either. I know it because of my brother. Vine was like his thing, which is funny because he's only 4 years older than us. But like Vine was like his thing, and Vine was just short form, like 5-second videos. You just scroll, and Vine got shut down, and then years later it loops back around to TikTok.
Right.
And TikTok is just this new short form thing, and so it's just Vine was just like so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Because it got shut down.
Yeah, it was.
But it was just ahead of its time because short form content is now probably primary way to just intake media.
Yeah. It's easy. It's like it's perfect because you can take as little or as much as you want.
That's true.
You can watch like 3 or 4 videos.
Well, and you can even, I mean, algorithms are scary good now.
Yeah.
So like that one
also...
too, but you can also go to your search and then you search Attack on Titan and you can just scroll on Attack on Titan exclusive reels.
Yeah.
Which vary from Attack on Titan edits to you didn't see this in this episode and stuff like that. It's like you'll be blown away when you see this Easter egg. And it's just
that's true.
It's crazy. Media's crazy.
Media's crazy. The amount of data that just floats around.
It's true.
Is insane. You gotta think about like companies like Instagram.
Yeah.
And
how much they
Facebook,
have on there.
How much like data storage they have. Not just of their own content, but also of our user content.
Well, that's what I'm saying is my family personally, we have a 2 terabyte plan for our iCloud.
Right.
We've used half of it. Our family alone has used a terabyte.
A terabyte.
And you can, and that involves like, it saves your text messages and pictures and whatnot. But then also you can also save your your stories on Instagram and stuff like that, which take up just data. So the amount of just that data that's out there, that our family is using a terabyte alone.
That is crazy.
And guarantee probably most families are the same.
Yeah.
More or less. It's about...
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone's using about the same. And how much of us in every family is using some Instagram. Like, easily they're getting the terabytes.
Yeah.
They're holding terabytes of... Maybe even more. I don't even know what's above terabytes.
I don't even know.
I think, what was it? I learned this in psychology. I don't remember what the thing was, but our brain holds like 100 terabytes or something like that.
Really?
Something like it's some really, really big number.
That's incredible.
I
mean, I'm not surprised.
No. But like our brain is basically it's just unfathomable the amount of information we can hold. Even if we like forget it, like you can see something and remember stuff, like because it's tucked away in your brain.
That's a good point.
I learned in psychology. I had a number. It was a question on a test, but I don't remember the number.
That is crazy. I've never thought of that. How does our brain physically store data?
Information.
In biological tissue.
It's actual... It's like actual electrical, like waves and particles or something like that.
Really?
So I'm trying to remember back to sophomore psychology because we talked about this, and it's
That's
like
crazy.
Because I do remember it's like, oh, if you were to, it's kind of like code.
Like binary code?
Kinda, I think so.
Okay.
Because it's not like I remember like hearing if you were to grab someone's brain and look into their memories, it wouldn't play like a movie.
Oh,
like everyone envisions, like, oh, I just watch a memory. It doesn't do. It's like, it's kind of like reading.
Oh.
So it's kind of like code-ish, like reading code is
That
how
makes
our brains like take in everything that's going on in a moment and like break it down into like, I guess like pieces of code and then it's like.
Right.
That was my understanding of it.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah. So.
That was kind of off topic.
Where did we go from?
Biology.
Biology. Well.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, dude. I love psychology.
I feel like I don't know a ton about psychology.
Dude, psychology was always like my 12 a.m. deep dives I would go on.
Really?
There's just stuff about the brain. It's just so fascinating to me because I learned a bunch. I mean, one of my deep dives was like the whole personality stuff,
right?
Which you're an ENFP too, because we took the test.
That's right.
So we're both ENFPs. but yeah, the whole personality stuff was one of my deep dives. Memory was a big deep dive of mine. Dreams are wild. I love, like, dreams was a really fun one to go down.
Yeah, dreams are cool.
Dreams are wild, bro. My dreams are so lame, though.
It's so mixed match for me.
Really?
I like occasionally, like maybe once a week, I'll have a definite dream that I can remember things about.
Yeah.
But probably only once a month.
Well, if
I
I
have a dream,
don't write it down, I forget about it. Even if I remember the dream really well, in a couple days I forgot it.
Really?
Well,
yeah.
because I actually know. I had a dream, like, 2 days ago that I remember, like, it in detail. And now, thinking about it now, I actually don't remember what the dream was.
Really?
But I remember thinking about the dream, like, throughout the day, because I thought it was a really weird dream.
Right.
But, like, now trying to think about it, I don't remember it. Unless I should really keep a dream journal. John keeps a dream journal.
Really?
And his dreams are wild, bro. He, like, his dreams are so fun. We should have him just talk about his dreams, because they're so funny.
Huh.
But mine are so lame. They're very, like, realistic to life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dreams are literally me just, like, going to school and talking to friends and stuff.
Mine are, like...
They're very true to just how my life is. And it's really funny, because I do make up some memories. I'm like, oh, that was actually just a dream. But...
Yeah. My dreams are usually... It's a mix between... Like, it's a realistic situation, but unrealistic. It's a realistic setting, but it's unrealistic situations.
Oh.
Where it's like, I'll be at school or something, and then I end up needing to defend the school from zombies.
Yeah, I don't have stuff like that.
Like, I'll be just driving in a car with my friends, you know, like going to get food or something, and then out of nowhere, like a whale will jump on the car.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
My dreams are so weird. The only... Okay, actually, have you ever had reoccurring dreams?
That's an interesting question. I want to say yes. I want to say that I have actually had reoccurring dreams. But what's crazy to think about is that whenever I think I have a reoccurring dream, that's when I'm already in the dream.
Do you lucid?
No.
No, you don't lucid dream?
I don't think I can. I think I can to some degree. I think I can kind of change things to make them more comfortable. Because I've definitely had situations where I've been dreaming and I recognized that, but I didn't stop the dream just because my brain enjoys it. So I wouldn't say that I lucid dream, but I would say that I definitely have control.
You can, like, recognize you're in a dream?
Yeah. I can kind of censor things that I
Have you ever had a dream within a dream?
I have not had a dream without a dream. Inception.
I know. John has.
Oh my gosh.
He was telling me about one of his dreams, and he's like, was dreaming, like, his dream was wild. He needs to tell you about it, because it was like, he somehow got in a room, like, full of pillows, and then he, like, looked in the pillowcases of each pillow, and it was, like, representative of a past dream he had.
Whoa.
It was like some object or something that represented another dream. And then he woke up from that dream and he was still dreaming.
Whoa.
And then he woke up from that dream and he's like, what the heck just happened?
That's crazy.
He literally had a dream within a dream, but the dream within a dream was a representative of all, like, random dreams he's had.
That is crazy.
It was wild. And I'm like, I want an experience like that.
That is a wild dream. I know for a fact I've never had
a dream like that. No, I haven't either.
That is incredible. This brings up another question that I just thought of. Do you have to be asleep to legitimately dream?
No, that's just daydreaming.
I agree. I believe that you can seriously...
Because there's that, like, spot where you're like, blah, and you're just like, your brain is wandering, but like... And then you have the thought, you're like, I could move right now if I wanted to, but I'm like, I can't. But I can't. But I could. But I can't. It's like really weird. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Because you're like just wandering, your brain's like, you're in bed and you're dreaming and you're like, I'm not asleep. But I could.
Yeah.
I could get up and walk around right now, but I can't. It's so weird. I don't know how to explain it. But
it's just too relaxing.
Yeah. And your brain is just making up the most fictitious crap ever.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true.
That a lot of daydreaming I do is, I mean, obviously about like future and what my future life would be like, and wife and stuff like that, family.
I would say that I daydream not a ton, I think.
I do. I think.
But it's usually induced by very strong emotions, and that produces very strong daydreams.
See, I daydream. See, that's what, like, I think, because I'm not able to have, I guess I have cool daydreams, but that's because I make them up. And so I, like, don't count those as cool dreams I've had.
Right.
Because I'm literally just making up a story about how I want it to go.
Have you ever had a daydream where you don't make it up? Where your brain just creates a situation for you and it's legitimately like a dream, but you're still awake?
Yeah. I think yes, but I kind of dismiss it because I know I'm awake and I feel like even if that's happening and I'm just kind of thinking and making a story in my head,
right.
I'm kind of dismissing it as like, oh, I'm awake and conscious, so I'm kind of making it the way I want to be somehow. Is how I think of it.
Interesting.
So yeah, because I do like just make up stories and I just keep going with it. So I'm not like thinking about what's gonna happen next. Just stuff happens.
Right.
But I at the same time I'm awake and I still feel like I have some control over it.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever really had control. Like, I know that I have control, at least when I'm daydreaming. But I also at the same time feel like I don't have any.
It's the same thing as when you're like, I'm awake and I could get up, but I can't.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like that kind of same.
You have the choice. You have the option, the ability to do so, but you kind of just can't.
You can't. Yeah.
That doesn't happen in any other situation.
No.
At least I don't think.
I don't know. I think dreams are so whack. Because I remember there's like, there's like certain things that like generally happen, have like general meanings. So like, I forgot it, but like when you have that feeling of falling in a dream, that means like you're stressed out about something in your life.
Really?
Or stuff like that. Or it's like if you have continuous dreams of you like dying, it's because there's something real in your life that's like really stressing you out or stuff. And like dreams in general are kind of your mind's weird way of kind of processing your day before. So, because when your body's sleeping, you're like recuperating, you're getting your energy. And so when you're actually not sleeping well, you're not able to kind of comprehend as much information,
right?
Because when you're staying awake, you're making your brain take in more information,
right?
And so when you're not sleeping, you're not just taking time to process it, and that's kind of what dreams are doing in a weird way. So that's why you'll have, which is why I think I have very realistic dreams, is because it's really me just kind of processing my days, in my own boring way, I guess, but
I've never thought of it like that. Whenever you're tired, it's just your brain slowing down because it has too much stuff to remember.
It's literally that was my understanding. It's just, you're dreaming because you're legit just processing your day, your life. You're letting your body finally relax and just process.
Interesting. Well, that's pretty cool, actually.
I know, it's wild. That was such a fun deep dive.
Yeah. Dreams are cool.
Oh, there's something else I was gonna say. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Just reoccurring dreams, lucid dreams, just different types of dreams.
Have you seen like the videos of people who will, like, after they sleep and if they have a dream, they do everything they can to remember, and they like write down all the stuff they remember, and they like train their brain to remember dreams so they can lucid dream?
Yeah, because I know it's, what was the number? It's like 10 seconds after you wake up, you're already forgetting your dream.
Right.
Legit. It's really, really fast. So that's why keeping a dream journal's good.
Yeah.
And it's why it's also hard. Because you have to wake up and you're already all hazy
you're all
because you're
tired,
waking up. But you have to write down. And it's like that same thing you had to have heard of people that, like, they wake up in the middle of the night and they write down what they thought about and they read it the next morning and it's just nonsense.
Really?
Yeah. Because it just doesn't make sense. Because they're not awake enough to write in a cohesive way that makes sense. So when they go back and read it, it just doesn't make sense.
Interesting.
So it's really, really hard. Because you have to do that to remember your dream.
Right.
But you also have to write it in a way that makes sense for you to remember. It's just, it's hard. And I really want to do it, but because even John, when he was showing me his dream journal, he was like reading it to me, and he's like, "Yeah, that's I don't remember what this is," but he wrote it down. He's like, "I have no idea what I'm talking about right here."
Does he have enough dreams that like?
Dude, his dreams are wild. I don't know how he has crazy dreams every night. Like he started his dream journal because he was telling me about that like dream where he was the pillowcases wanting. He was telling me about that, and I'm like, "Bro, keep a dream journal, bro." And that's been going on for a couple weeks, and he already has like multiple chapters. I'm like, what the heck?
Just a few weeks?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's wild. I don't. His dreams are wild. Mine are so lame.
I seriously.
Even my reoccurring dreams are lame.
Really.
And No, what's his name? I don't know his name.
Here, let's check. We should check and see.
It's Fred.
Fred?
Fred has wild dreams too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, actually. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Fred has wild dreams. And he was telling me about how one time he had a dream that like stopped and then he went to sleep the next night and it continued.
Whoa.
And I'm like, how? I've never had anything like that.
Wait, that's
he was
crazy.
Like, it was legit like he put the pause button on his dream, went through his day, and played it, and his dream continued.
That's crazy.
And like, how does your brain do that?
How does your brain do that?
And Fred's dreams are wild, bro.
How does your brain like process something from one day, stop the process, go through a whole day of learning, and then
just
restart
like
the process
processing
from
like,
2 days before?
Yeah, or it's like adding the day. It's weird.
That is crazy.
It's just wild. Fred has wild dreams too.
Interesting. Yeah, I totally see Fred having wild dreams.
It's so funny, cause he's just he's just an introverted guy, but he's also so wild when you're with him. It's
just like Tristan.
It is true. That's why I love introverts.
Introverts
are honestly
so fun.
Some of my favorite people in the world.
Once you get past their shell, they don't act like introverts at all.
No. It's showing that there's just with every person there's extroverted and introverted sides.
Ambivert.
Well, I mean there's ambivert people, but like just showing like because I can also because I'm an extrovert, but I can see my introverted sides. They come out like at school, like in class. I am very quiet in class.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't talk a lot, and I'm kind of just keep to myself in class. But every other scenario, I'm very outgoing.
Right.
And it's just funny, kind of the opposite with like introverts. They're very quiet in every scenario, except for the one where you can break through and they're hanging out with you.
Yeah.
And in those scenarios, they are like the funniest people I know.
Yeah.
Because I love introverts. They're so funny. They end up just being the funniest people I know all the time.
That's true. I also feel like part of that is introverts. At least from my experience of siblings who have been introverts, they keep a lot of things to themselves, and so when they do open up, they have a lot to say.
Yeah.
And that can make for some really
interesting,
really funny situations.
Yeah. Well, it's I'm the most extroverted of my family by far. And the most introverted is probably my sister.
Okay. Really?
And, yeah, she's very introverted.
I'm surprised by that, actually.
I know. Honestly, when I had her take the personality test, she came out as an ambivert.
Wow.
Like a straight up ambivert. Like she was legit like 49, like 51.
Whoa.
Extrovert, introvert.
That's crazy.
Which is funny that she's still the most introverted one of us.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. It's funny because she's within the last couple years just moving out and going on a mission and stuff like that. Like, I've seen her break out of her shell.
Really?
And just do stuff she wouldn't normally. And it's really funny because some of the stuff that's like groundbreaking for her, I'm like, oh, I would have done that. Like, just spontaneously.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I can say that too about my older brother. My older brother was definite introvert.
Yeah.
He shared so many He shares so many characteristics with, like, Tristan and Drake.
Tristan
like,
and Drake.
They, especially with Drake, like, they
Really?
are near, well, I won't say replicas,
but just a lot.
like, they both love mountain biking, and they both had, you know, like, just the things that they were passionate about and the things that they enjoyed. It was just very, very similar personalities.
Really?
And their, like, tolerance for jokes
Yeah.
or, like, teasing or physical interactions was very, very limited. And that is, like, you know, that's a general, like, character preset, I feel like, between a lot of introverts.
Yeah.
And so I've definitely seen that too with my older brother as he's, like, towards the end of his senior year, he definitely opened up more. He was willing to, like, he would literally, we bought this, like $20 karaoke machine from Ross.
Really?
And we drove around Station Park with the windows down, and my brother was just belting out
Really?
Imagine Dragons through
That's
this
wild.
crappy karaoke thing for everybody to hear, and everybody was staring at us. I was laughing my head off while trying to drive.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody was just, it was just the funniest thing.
Yeah.
But I'd never seen him.
But
do
it's
that
also
before.
like kind of out of character for him.
No, yeah, it was like, wow, like, I'm surprised you're doing this. But I realized, like, over time that he had finally just kind of given up
kind
on,
of let loose a little bit.
Yeah, and he was kind of just being himself more, and I was like, wow, like, this is crazy. And what's funny to me is I've seen a lot of similarities between me and him as we've grown up.
Yeah.
I've seen, like, I remember things he did as a senior. Like, he was very not super into, like, talking about personal things. He did not share any clothes. Those are just two examples. But as I've grown up, I realized that I've also become, like, not super, like, outgoing with talking about personal things to people. And I've become a bit more, like, introverted, I would say. I feel like I've become more introverted.
Yeah.
Which is the exact opposite of him. I'm generally more of an extrovert than an introvert. And compared to him, I was definitely an extrovert.
Yeah.
But as he grew up, he became more extroverted. And as I grew up, I become more
introverted. I think the same too.
It's incredibly weird. I never thought that would happen.
It's really interesting, like, how you just see similarities with you and your brother. I see it with me and, like, Tristan. Because I told you, like, I'm an ENFP, he's an INFP.
Right.
Like, it's really just, we're very similar in that way. And it's really funny, because he's honestly one of the most creative people I know.
Really?
Like, when it comes to, like, have you seen just some of the video games he's made? He's made actual, like, video games, like, just in Unity.
Really?
He's made video games. He's knows how to code. He taught himself to edit. He taught himself Photoshop. He's really, really creative. But he, just because how he is, because he's way more introverted, he doesn't show that to the world.
Right.
Like, the only people he really shows it to is probably, like, his parents and, like, me and maybe some other of our friends. Because he'll just show, he's like, hey, this is what I was working on. And it's, like, something completely different than his last random project.
Right.
But, like, just because he's of those introverted traits, he just doesn't show them, which is really interesting. But he's honestly one of the most creative people I know.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I guess even an introvert has in a sense, an extroverted side.
Guaranteed.
I've always, like, I've known that there's been, like, nobody's a dead introvert,
No.
you know?
Well, and even no one's a dead extrovert either.
Yeah.
Like, you're just saying how you're, like, yeah, I'm an extrovert, but I definitely see my introverted qualities now.
Yeah.
Because you are introverted in some way.
Yeah.
You just took the test, you were literally 60-40% introvert.
It's true.
Like, there is a
true.
40% introvert in you. There's a
That's so strange.
20% introvert in me. But,
Yeah.
like, there's still introverted traits, and as I've gotten older and learned about myself, I do see what in those areas. There's not a lot, but I do see those areas where I do become introverted,
Right.
and maybe some introverted tendencies I have, which is really interesting.
That is very interesting. This makes me... I really, really want to know everybody in our group.
I know
How
a
they
lot
are.
of us.
I can definitely guess. Like, it's easy to guess. I feel like it's extremely easy to guess and see who people... Like, how they would...
Especially,
Me.
like, the extroverted, introverted
Yeah.
stuff. The harder stuff is the NFP.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
what
like
I want to know. I want to
It
know,
is.
like,
It is the stuff you want to know.
Yeah. Just purely out of curiosity.
I know I've had Fred take the test. I know Alberto's taken the test.
Really? I'm actually very curious about him.
I don't remember what he got, but there was a time where we were hanging out at Fred's house and like 4 of us took the test. I think it was me, Fred, Alberto, and Linus. I think it was us 4.
Interesting. That's a good mix.
So I
That's a
bet
good
we
mix.
could ask them what they got, what their personality types were, and it's just because I remember with Fred, I like went up and read on his for a while. I don't remember what his was though.
Huh.
But and I've had
Interesting.
Tristan take the test too. Obviously. What's his name?
Which
Oh, John. John's taking the test too.
John. That is actually very interesting, because John, from my perspective of John, I feel like there's a lot beneath the surface. When we talked about the whole outside appearance
Yeah.
and actual, like, who you are, I feel like John specifically has a very, very thick outside appearance.
Oh, I definitely agree.
So I can easily see his outside appearance being, not being who he is at all.
He's
as far
been
as-
a really
yeah.
fascinating friend for me because I am very much, I just talk about my problems and
Right.
whatnot. That helps me, is just letting my emotions out. And for him, that's just not the way he does it.
Interesting.
Like, even when he does talk to me, it's very not into as much detail as if I were
Right.
talking about my feelings. And he'll like hit it, he'll give the broad generalization of how he's feeling and how he'll handle it, but he very much just processes stuff, even though he's an extrovert for sure. The way he processes stuff is very introverted, and when he's talking about his feelings, he's kind of very introverted too, because he doesn't talk about his feelings very much. So it's very much that, like, he's really good at playing that, like, thick kind of shell of his feelings.
Interesting.
And even how you can see that really well in how I handled my breakup and how he handled his.
Yeah.
Because when I handled my breakup, I literally ghosted all of our friends for months.
Right. Yeah.
And he basically was able to come back and hang out with us almost like the day after.
Wow.
Not to say, like, I know for a fact he was basically feeling the exact same way I did. We just handled it very differently. I handled it in a much more extroverted way.
Right.
Even though
Yeah.
I, like, shut down and, like, didn't socialize, the way of me handling it was very extroverted because it's just me letting my emotions show.
Right.
And oddly enough, even though he was able to act a lot more extroverted around you guys, after it, the way of him handling it was much more introverted.
Interesting.
Which was it's just...
That leads me to ask the question of what things influence how we cope? You know?
I guess this can go a little bit back on last time. What you were saying was like, are you changing people as you grow?
Are you changing people as you grow?
Or no, like, are you changing as a person? Are you a different person as you were growing as a person? You brought that question up last time.
I did, yeah.
And I think that falls a little bit like under like how you cope.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
because
that's definitely true.
I definitely think post breakup, if something like that or just some other thing in my life that would be hard, I think I will cope differently.
Yeah.
Than I did last time.
Honestly, I've never really had anything crazy happen to me, which is a little bit scary because it makes me worried for when something
you wouldn't say
crazy does happen.
Your breakup wasn't crazy?
No, I would say that the act of the actual relationship, what was happening to me during the relationship, was worse than the breakup.
Really?
The actual strain that it had on me and the horrible feelings I got from it
really
was worse than actually breaking up.
Wow.
It's like you hate throwing up, but you're happy that you do it after, you know? You can finally just rest. That's how it was for me in my breakup. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't suck.
Yeah, obviously.
Even though I was the one who did it, it was still... At that time, it was the most challenging thing for me. Because it was sad to remove myself from something that had been so special. And especially from somebody that I still loved. I genuinely did.
Yeah.
But I would have, if I were to choose a pain, I would have rather chosen the pain of breaking up a relationship and watching the person I'm breaking up with go through one of the hardest times of our lives than us both deal with this horrible situation that just deteriorated our
lives,
attitudes, and our
and your relationship. I mean, from an outside perspective, it affected how we hung out. Because while you two were dating, like, I barely saw you. You didn't hang out with us as much.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, obviously it was affecting you two individually, but it was, from my view, it was also affecting how you interacted with us and how much you interacted with us.
Yeah, there is... It's really difficult. This totally plays into priorities, you know, and how to balance priorities, because that was something that I learned greatly from that whole experience with that relationship, was understanding that there are some priorities that you put precedence over others, and there are some priorities that you should put precedence over others. And that ties into the whole heart and head thing, you know? Like, for me, I really wanted to just spend all the time I could with this one person because I genuinely love them, right? And so my heart wanted to do that, but my head was like, hey, you have family, you know? You have other friends. You've got homework. You have mutual. You have work, you know? That was like really the problem. But there was all these other things that I knew were a part of my life, but I was choosing to prioritize this main part of my life way more than anything else.
I relate to that.
Yeah. So after I removed, or after that priority was removed from my life, or the need for that priority, I realized how much I loved the other things. I realized how much I missed hanging out with my group of friends. I realized how much I missed my family and my close friends, you know? And it was difficult. It was really difficult to kind of just get back. And it was not easy to get back. I remember the summer. I believe it was summer. No, it must have been...
No, it might have been. Because that would have been the summer I was in my relationship, right?
It would have been... It was probably in the summer. Because that was close to when I broke up. I'm pretty sure it was. But I remember... I can't remember exactly what happened. But Drake was driving me home. And from school. And I remember we just started talking and stuff. And I think he brought something up that the group was doing. And I was like, oh, how's it going and stuff. And then he mentioned something about a group chat. And I can't remember where I heard it from or how I even knew. But I knew that you guys had a group chat with the whole group and I wasn't in it.
Oh,
And
I didn't remember that.
It was actually...
Sorry, I didn't know you weren't in a group chat.
No, it's okay. It was actually such a blessing because Dawson was like, oh, were you not in it? And I didn't have to ask. I didn't say anything about it. He just knew. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was so happy that he just knew that I wasn't in it. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not. And he was like, okay, well, I'll get you in there. In fact, we're doing something this Saturday, so you should come. I was like, oh my gosh.
I didn't know you weren't in a group chat. I thought you were always have been in it.
Mm-mm.
No, Tate!
I think what it was... I think what it was the addition of... I want to say Tristan, or the addition of...
That would have been early sophomore year, though.
Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it was...
there was
the addition of... Was it his ex?
Maybe. Something required you guys to make a new group chat, and
it could have been the addition of ex. Emma's ex. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can fix it.
Yeah. Maybe that was what it was. But, Huh.
Well, whatever it was, I am sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I'm here now. That's all I care about. Huh. That is strange to think about. Priorities kind of... It influence your character crazy.
I think that's very much kind of the stuff I'm learning right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was, I mean, when I was in my relationship, it was very... I don't know. My priorities were her, and I did very much neglect the rest of the group.
Right.
And it is kind of learning my priorities between our friend group and, I mean, my life too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to learn how much I need to dedicate to our friend group and how much I need to dedicate to myself.
Right. That's true.
Which is a whole nother bridge we could go down, and we have gone down in the past in our own personal conversations. But
yeah.
Sadly, we're running out of time.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe it's a good thing.
Because
I think
we've spent a lot of time, oddly enough, on a podcast about the social hierarchy of a teen.
the social hierarchy of a teen in a part-time job.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time talking about relationships, which is actually going to be...
Which is a whole nother episode.
Another
topic.
So it's probably a good thing that we kind of are stopping, because
we'll get back to it. And maybe we'll have someone join us.
We actually will.
We're going to come back to this topic.
Yes, we're going to have a guest. In fact, we don't know exactly how often we will, but there will be a few guests.
We will have guests. We'll have
podcasts.
People of our said friend group join us.
Yes. Now, just to say, the names we've been using, like Drake, Tristan, and John, and Alberto, you know, those people.
They're all fake names,
they're fake
and
names.
we will only reveal them if they choose to be revealed.
Exactly.
So if they are on the podcast and they choose to let their real name out there, we'll let them. But for now, we are just keeping our friends privated.
Yes.
Well, don't let older people tell you what to do. It sucks. It's annoying.
Yeah, don't let old women tell you how to freaking fold clothes.
Even if your manager tells you what to do, you do what your manager told you to do, not some coworker that's 30 years older than you.
Yeah. Bye.